Life is a stage, and every day we encounter different people. Some are sincere and open-hearted, while others try to influence you with their words or manipulate your emotions. When you meet such people, how you speak and the way you behave with your words reveal your true strength. A wise person is different. They don't waste words needlessly. They use their speech not as a weapon, but as an art. Stoic philosophy teaches us that your language is a mirror of your character, and being careful with your words while protecting yourself and your energy is a sign of true wisdom. In this video, we will present to you the 7 expressions a wise person never says. Once you learn them, you will strengthen your power with words, avoid falling into others' traps, and protect the energy in your life. If you're ready, let's begin. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share it. In life, we often notice that when something goes wrong, people immediately blame someone else. A project fails, a relationship faces problems, or simple everyday situations go awry. In such moments, our first instinct is to say, "It's not my fault." But for a wise person, this sentence never works. A wise person knows that true power lies not in avoiding mistakes, but in accepting them. Avoiding responsibility is easy, but it only shows weakness. The Stoics said that we can only control ourselves. Even if we want to change the world, not everything is under our control. But our reactions and behaviors are entirely within our control. Let's take a daily life example. Suppose a major project at work fails. It's easy to blame someone else. You could point to a team member, a manager, or market conditions and say, "It's not my fault." But a wise person doesn't think this way. They first ask themselves, what could I have done better? Which decisions did I make incorrectly? They take responsibility and learn from the process. As a result, they become better prepared, wiser, and avoid repeating the same mistakes in the future. Another example, personal relationships. A misunderstanding occurs in a relationship. Blaming the other person is easy, but a wise person doesn't do this immediately. They evaluate their own behavior, recognize misunderstandings and mistakes, and then take steps to fix the relationship. In this way, accepting responsibility both shows your character and strengthens your relationships. For a wise person, accepting responsibility for self-development is a habit. Even in small daily mistakes, they don't say, "It's not my fault." Instead, they focus their attention and energy on real solutions. This makes them more resilient in both personal and professional life. Remember, accepting responsibility does not make you weak. On the contrary, it strengthens you. You have already learned to control yourself and grow stronger by learning from mistakes. Blaming others is easy, but a wise person chooses the harder path to know themselves and improve. Thus, the phrase, "It's not my fault," never appears in the vocabulary of a wise person. True power lies in accepting responsibility, learning from mistakes, and becoming a little wiser every day. The second phrase wise people never say is, "I am smarter than everyone." Pride and arrogance never suit a wise person. Human nature sometimes pushes us to compare ourselves to others. On social media, among friends, or in daily life, the thought "I am better" often arises. But for a wise person, this mindset is never correct. Comparing oneself to others is actually a sign of inner emptiness. If a person is truly strong and content, they do not try to inflate or diminish themselves by looking at others' successes. According to Stoic philosophy, true greatness is not in belittling others, but in improving oneself. Let's explain this with examples from daily life. Suppose a friend of yours has learned a new skill or achieved success in a hobby. Most people might immediately compare themselves with pride and think, "I am better than them." But a wise person doesn't do this. They acknowledge their friend's success, get inspired, and use it as motivation for their own growth. The key point here is to grow yourself without belittling others. Another example, household chores or family relationships. Suppose someone at home has cooked a meal well or taken good care of the children. It's easy to think, "I am better than them." But a wise person doesn't think this way. They recognize the other person's skill, show respect, and at the same time, see it as an opportunity to improve their own abilities. Every time you feel the urge to say, "I am better than everyone," remember, true strength is not in belittling others, but in maintaining your inner balance and progressing on your path of self-development. Simplicity, humility, and working on yourself are the true signs of strength. A wise person knows that instead of comparing themselves to others, they should strive to become a little better every day. This preserves their inner peace, strengthens their relationships, and adds meaningful value to their life. Life sometimes presents us with great challenges. Our first instinct in such situations is to say, "I can't do this." The third expression that wise people never use is this very phrase. For them, it is simply a trap, a barrier. They understand that true strength lies in not giving up in the face of difficulties and learning from every situation. According to Stoic philosophy, we cannot control everything, but we can focus on what is within our control, our reactions, choices, and efforts. True growth begins here. A wise person sees challenges not as fear or limitation, but as opportunities to learn and grow. For example, suppose you want to learn a skill you've wanted for a long time, like dancing. At first, moving your feet to the rhythm feels very difficult. While others catch the rhythm immediately, you might feel awkward or clumsy. At that moment, many people immediately say, "I can't do this," and give up. But a wise person doesn't do this. They first acknowledge their fear, but they don't let it grow. They say, "Let's see how I can do this." Then they take small steps. On the first day, they repeat simple movements. After a week, they can move in rhythm. Next, they attempt more complex combinations. Even if they fail at first, they learn from it and do not lose heart. Every attempt brings them a step forward, and every mistake shows how they can improve. Thus, for a wise person, the word "I can't" doesn't exist, only "let's see how I can." This approach works not only in learning a skill, but in every area of life. Not giving up in the face of difficulty, moving forward with small steps, and learning from mistakes are the key traits of a wise person. They know that no one becomes perfect overnight, but with continuous effort, anything is possible. At first glance, saying "I can't do this" seems to lead nowhere, but saying "let's see how I can do this" makes you a little stronger and wiser every day. Every obstacle in life is actually a learning opportunity. The fourth expression is, "I don't have time." Each of us has 24 hours every day, yet we often hear, "I don't have time." This phrase is often just an excuse. In reality, saying "I don't have time" often means, "This is not a priority for me." We differ only in how we choose to use our time. For a wise person, time is the greatest wealth. They understand that every moment is an irreplaceable resource. According to Stoic philosophy, life itself is time, and every moment must be lived carefully. Don't waste your time on trivial things. This is not just words, it is a way of life. Suppose someone wants to improve their physical health, but daily tasks, social obligations, and other small duties fill up all their hours. Every day they say, "I don't have time. I can't find time to exercise." This thought is familiar to many people, but a wise person doesn't think this way. They first ask themselves, "What is truly important to me?" and determine their priorities. For example, they may see that by dedicating just 20 minutes early in the morning, they can exercise instead of spending that time on their phone, social media, or meaningless tasks. They set aside a small but effective period. Doing a short workout at first won't exhaust them. On the contrary, it will motivate them. Over a week or 10 days, this 20 minutes becomes part of their routine. They don't give up because they manage their time according to their goal. A wise person knows that wasting time is easy, but directing time toward a purpose is real power. Small daily steps and choices accumulate to create significant results. Even just 20 minutes, invested wisely, improves health, energy, and self-confidence. Without being distracted by others' wasted time or meaningless activities, they remain focused only on their goal. In reality, saying "I don't have time" is simply a choice. We all have the same amount of time. The difference lies in how we manage it. A wise person plans their time according to priorities, avoids wasting it, and values every moment. This is crucial for physical health, personal development, and mental balance. So whenever you feel the urge to say, "I don't have time," take a step back and ask yourself, is this really a priority for me? Or am I just wasting my time? Asking this question consistently makes you more purposeful, wiser, and effective. Throughout life, we all make mistakes. It is a natural part of being human. But many people tell themselves, "I have no right to make mistakes." This statement traps us because it represents both fear and avoidance of growth. Avoiding mistakes means avoiding new experiences and learning opportunities. That is why wise people never use this phrase, "I have no right to make mistakes." A wise person sees mistakes as life's greatest teacher. According to Stoic philosophy, mistakes are not just failures, they are opportunities turned into experience. Every mistake is a lesson, and every failed step is a chance. Therefore, a wise person never fears making mistakes. Imagine you have to give a big presentation for the first time. For example, presenting a new idea to management at work. Speaking for the first time is always challenging. You might not convey your words correctly. Many people would say, "I have no right to make mistakes. If I fail, I'll look bad and give up." But a wise person doesn't think this way. They see mistakes not as threats, but as a learning process. Even if the first presentation fails, they analyze every error. What went well? What needs improvement? Which points needed clearer explanation? This analysis makes them better prepared. In future presentations, they correct previous mistakes and deliver more confident and effective talks. Every mistake moves them one step forward. Every failed attempt provides experience. From another perspective, the fear of mistakes sometimes stifles creativity. Suppose you want to propose a new project idea. Hearing others' opinions, you might think, "I could be wrong, and if I fail, it will be rejected," and hold back. A wise person doesn't see it this way. They take risks, share their idea, and learn from the outcome. Even if it fails, they learn from mistakes and create stronger ideas in the future. This makes them both creative and wise. Mistakes do not make a person weak. On the contrary, mistakes teach, strengthen, and help make you wiser every day. A wise person knows that mistakes are inevitable in gaining experience. Each time you think, "I have no right to make mistakes," step back and ask yourself, what can this mistake teach me? Isn't this an opportunity for growth? Remember, fearing mistakes only holds you back. Accepting them and learning from them moves you forward. A wise person does not fear mistakes, they embrace and learn from them. This is the greatest sign of their inner strength and wisdom. Life does not stop, time flows. People change and events constantly renew. Yet sometimes we trap ourselves by saying, "I will not change." This is the sixth expression that wise people never use. In reality, saying this limits oneself, avoids growth, and keeps one stuck in a comfort zone. A wise person doesn't think this way. They know that life has its own laws and nature flows. Nothing is static. Everything changes. People, relationships, circumstances. Resisting this flow only brings stress and suffering. If you say, "I will not change," you are essentially going against the rhythm of life. Change can be frightening. People often say, "If I change, I will lose myself. Who am I to change?" But in reality, change does not mean losing yourself, it means finding yourself. Every change is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more understanding. Stoic philosophy pays special attention to this. The Stoics said that everything flows, and adapting to that flow and moving with it is the greatest wisdom. If you insist on not changing, you are resisting the natural flow of life. This only brings inner tension, anxiety, and sometimes even opposite results. A wise person thinks differently. Every situation is a test, and every test gives us an opportunity to learn and grow. They know that changing and adapting is not a weakness, it is strength and wisdom. Freezing in place and saying, "I will not change," in the face of any challenge only leads to regression. But changing, renewing, learning, And growing moves you forward and keeps you in harmony with life. Sometimes people say, I won't change because I was born this way. But remember, birth is just a starting point. Life is a process. In this process, what we experience, learn, and the challenges we face shape us. Refusing to change means opting out of this process. A wise person, however, takes advantage of every opportunity life gives, develops themselves, and over time becomes a wiser, more understanding individual. Change is not only for ourselves, it also benefits those around us. If you are unwilling to change in relationships, at work, or in social life, people will struggle to connect with you. But adapting and growing makes life easier, not only for you but also for those around you, opening a more productive and peaceful path. Remember, a wise person never utters the words, I will not change. They know that change is not fear, it is a choice. The key to growth and strength. To live in harmony with life and improve yourself and your surroundings, change is necessary. Sometimes people say, I am alone. I don't need anyone to appear strong. This is the seventh expression that wise people never use. But in reality, this is not strength, it is pride. True strength does not lie in needing no one, but in knowing how to ask for help when needed. Human nature is social. We are created to connect, support, and accept one another. A wise person understands this. They know that it is not possible to solve all challenges in life alone. Sometimes the most difficult decisions, the largest projects, or even coping with emotional stress require support. This is not weakness. It is a sign of inner strength, smart planning, and proper management of life. Stoic philosophy emphasizes this as well. The Stoics said that a person's strength is not only in their individual abilities, but also in living in harmony with society. No matter how skilled and independent you are, the quality of your relationships with the people around you determines your life's quality and your strength. Without social support, a person cannot fully realize their potential. A wise person understands that sometimes the strongest step is to ask for help from others. This not only contributes to the growth of knowledge and skills, but also helps maintain inner balance. Asking for help is, in fact, a way of valuing both yourself and the other person. When someone offers assistance, they are showing trust and deepening the relationship. Moreover, social relationships are not just about help and support. They also create opportunities for exchanging experiences, learning, and generating new ideas. A wise person knows that it is impossible to know everything alone, but exchanging ideas with others and learning from their perspective is always valuable. A wise person also balances asking for help and providing help. They understand that not only asking for help when needed, but also supporting others strengthens a person. Friendship, collaboration, mutual respect, and trust are the key pillars on this path. It must be emphasized again, saying, I am alone, I don't need anyone, is actually depriving oneself of personal growth and meaningful relationships. This approach leads to loneliness and isolation. A wise person understands that life is about sharing, learning, and moving forward together. Without social connections, both personal development and inner harmony are difficult to achieve. We may sometimes hesitate to ask for help, but a wise person sees this not as weakness but as strength. They know that asking for help is essential emotionally, practically, and strategically. Building harmonious relationships with the people around us makes life more meaningful, our work more productive, and our minds calmer. Remember, independence and strength are not only about acting alone. True independence, power, and balance are shown in relationships, mutual support, and collaboration. A wise person understands this and structures their life according to this principle. Thus, the words we speak throughout our lives are not just a means of communication. They reflect our character, thoughts, and worldview. Stoic philosophy teaches us clearly every word, even the ones we choose not to speak, reveals who we are. A wise person knows that words are power. When used correctly, they elevate a person and enrich both themselves and those around them. But using words carelessly and without thought harms not only others but also oneself. Empty, meaningless, and harmful expressions reveal a person's weaknesses, pride, fears, and arrogance. Stoic philosophy says that a truly wise person is skilled not only in speaking, but also in knowing when not to speak. Sometimes remaining silent demonstrates more strength than speaking. For example, in moments when you want to criticize or react emotionally, staying silent strengthens both your inner calm and the respect others have for you. A wise person understands that every word carries potential consequences. Looking around, we see that people who do not choose their words carefully often cause conflicts, misunderstandings, and negative energy. A wise person knows this and acts thoughtfully. They avoid empty criticism, attempts to appear superior, and excuses made to evade responsibility. Their most powerful expressions are silence, carefully chosen words, and responses given at the right time. This principle applies to both personal and professional life. At work, in friendships, in family, and in general social interactions, a wise person chooses words carefully. They know that properly expressed words strengthen relationships, eliminate misunderstandings, and increase mutual respect. At the same time, they understand that not every moment requires speaking. Sometimes the strongest messages are conveyed through actions, silence an example rather than words. For a wise person, knowing what not to say is very important, because every spoken word reflects their character. Thinking before speaking, using reason before emotion, and avoiding empty, meaningless words are signs of wisdom and respect for oneself and others. This is also one of the core principles of Stoic philosophy: maintaining inner calm, avoiding emotional reactions to external influences, and acting purposefully. Remember, the power of a wise person lies not only in the words they speak, but also in the words they refrain from saying. They do not waste time, energy, or attention on meaningless words. They know that every word has consequences, and using words wisely is essential for both inner harmony and external success. Friends, now think, what other words or expressions should a wise person never say? Share your thoughts in the comments, increase your own knowledge, and help others as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. Turn on notifications to stay updated on new videos so we can continue learning together. See you in the next video.